Do you?
Yes, we do.
Okay, and do you see the screen? Do you see my screen?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you see in the screen?
Is it writing?
Essay writing, yes. So here I just want to show you, I have opened some new things in this page. So I'm going to show you the things that I have opened. So let's start from the beginning. You have the name or the title of this course, which is essay writing. Underneath, you have course content where you have brainstorming. And we have talked about brainstorming. And then you have a video there that is going to show you everything you need to know about brainstorming. We have talked also about attention grabber, and this is important. And you have something about attention grabber. We're going to see this straight away. And then you have thesis statement, which is something that is very important, even in descriptive writing, where you do not have a position, but still you have to give your feelings about the things. That is your impression. And this is a sort of a thesis statement, and how to plan the essay. And the most important thing for me is how to write an introductory paragraph. So I have a couple of things about this, and then the 5-paragraph essay. So remember, in the exam, what you have to write is a 5-paragraph essay. Even if we do not ask you to write a 5-paragraph essay, you have to write one like this. The first paragraph is introduction, the last one is a conclusion, and you have to come up with 3 body paragraphs with 3 main ideas, 3 ideas to develop, major ideas to develop in those body paragraphs. And then we have the genre that we are going to do this semester is the descriptive essay, and of course the narrative essay. We have argumentative, we have personal, we have informative, we have other kinds of essay, other kinds of writings that we are not going to do them here, or you are going to see them next year in S3. Okay, and then of course underneath what you have is, what do you find? What do you see there? What do you find underneath the plan? What do you see? Someone to read, to tell me?
Plan your essay by brainstorming.
Now, underneath the plan, underneath, what do you have? You have a button there, the BBB, the big blue button, where you have the online lecture, Wednesday at 14, and underneath, what do you have?
Ajouter une activité.
No,
We have
you have, yes, the homework. You have, please, and I'm telling you, please do this assignment. So there's a homework that you have to do. So here you're going to, we have done the writing a paragraph, we have seen the plan. Okay, so these are the most important things, the brainstorming. We have done this also. And then now what you're going to do, you're going to write a whole essay. A whole essay, what we mean by a whole essay, we mean a 5-paragraph essay. Of course, as I said, whether it be in a homework or in the exam, it is always a 5-paragraph essay. Not always in your life, an essay can be a 10-paragraph. It doesn't have a number of paragraphs, but due to the time, because you have only 1 hour and a half, so you cannot write more than a 5-paragraph essay. That is 3 ideas. It's very difficult to come up with more than 3 ideas. Okay, the 3 major ideas that you're going to develop into the 5-paragraph essay. So homework, you're going to start, of course, to practice writing an essay. So this one is on descriptive essay, and next one I'm going to change it next week for a 5-paragraph essay on a narrative essay. Okay, so this one, please do the homework. It says write a 5-paragraph essay on any subject you choose. Either you're going to describe a person, so look at this. No, here it is both. Sorry, it is both, so I've changed it. Either describe a person, a place, or a thing. So this is descriptive. Or you may go and tell a story, like, for example, a story telling about your story when you experience something in your life. For example, that is a story. Tell us about your first day in the faculty. Tell us about the first a misunderstanding you had with your best friend. So any sort of a story that you may tell, and you put it into a narrative essay. So you choose anyone. And today we're going to look at the descriptive essay. So underneath, of course, for those who are going to ask what is brainstorming and how to do brainstorming, you have this video. So I don't know if it's going to work. I always try, it never works. I'm going to try again and tell me whether it works. Here I go.
Professor, sorry for interrupting. I have a question.
Well, first answer me, do you hear the video?
Okay, we will wait.
Can you hear it?
No.
I'll try again because I have already started. I'll do it again. And now?
No, we
teacher.
don't.
No.
No, no. So I need, sorry, I need something in this computer to make,
Bless you.
thank you. Okay, anyway, you see this video, I'm not going to play it, but you see it's about brainstorming. And then under this video about brainstorming, you have another one about attention grabbers. So I'm not going to play the video because you're not going to get it, but already we can see here, I think you can see it, begin with a simile or a metaphor. So what is a simile and what is a metaphor? Yes?
I said we can see it.
You said something? Yeah, you can see it. Quite good. So a simile or a metaphor, these are things that you use in the literature. That is, in your literature courses, you're going to be given definitions of what is a simile, what is a metaphor. In fact, they are the same thing, but a simile is when you use is like or as. You use something here that shows that you're just comparing. So my family is like book. So this is a simile. My life has been a carnival. It is personification, or here a metaphor. You describe your life as a carnival. Okay, or you may begin with a question. Who is the greatest athlete of all the times? Begin with a definition. Also, you can begin with a definition. Although this is not really very good, a very good way to begin an essay with, but sometimes when the word is difficult or a notion is not very clear, you may, in this case, start by defining. If you think that the thing you're talking about is not going to be understood, in this case, of course, you may use a definition. But if you just give a definition of something that is known, it is very bad for writing. You may also begin with a quotation. Yes.
I was going to ask you about this
Go
point.
on.
Can we start with quotes?
Yes. Yeah, it is there. You can start with quotes. Okay. You can start with quotes. It's a good way to start with quotes. You can start with a small joke if it's a good one, not a bad one. You can start with statistics, given the number, the statistic about something. If you talk, for example, about the COVID, you can talk about the statistics, the number of the death every day, or from the beginning of the COVID, or you can talk about the statistics about the cases of every day, or all the cases from the beginning, or worldwide. So statistics is also a very good way to start an essay with. So this is called attention grabber. And then we go to, of course, I have talked heavily. So here, an effective thesis statement. Okay, one way. And then all these things, we are going to use them in the introductory paragraph. And this guy, I like very much his videos. I think that he explained very well, very clearly, everything he talks about. I would like you to follow him and maybe watch all his other videos as well. So watch this one. It's about an effective essay and an effective introductory paragraph, right? So please do watch these. These are the courses. You have everything. If you want to take notes, then you take notes. And here you have at your right, left hand, introductory paragraph. I think we have seen this last time. Did we? I think we have seen it. Yeah, let me open it. Here it goes. So, and then, sorry. Yep.
Yes, we have seen it.
Yeah, let me just close this thing there. So we have seen this last time, yes? Okay,
Yes.
so in
You
my
explained-
humble opinion, do not use these words, opinion. Do not use, I'm sure about this. In this paper, I will talk about. So don't use this kind of structure. The purpose of this essay, it's not very good to do these things. Okay, so you can follow, read it again, just to know about it. And then we go on, and underneath you have now, or we have been at the introduction. Now we go to the essay. So how to write an effective essay. By the way, I cannot use the camera because I don't know what happens. It's impossible for me to use it, so just do without it. Okay, so now how to write an effective essay. And we have said what an effective essay. The effective essay you're going to use or you're going to write is a 5-paragraph essay. Remember, a 5-paragraph essay. So here you have 2 files. Okay, the first one is the 5-paragraph essay. The second one, guide to writing a basic essay. Let's open each one of them quickly. Okay, so here it goes. Okay, so a classic format for compositions is the 5-paragraph essay, and it is the classic format for students. It is not the only format for writing an essay, of course, but it is a useful model for you to keep in mind, especially as you begin to develop your composition skills. Okay, so just quickly, we go to the introductory paragraph. We have talked a lot about this. So the introductory paragraph should include the thesis statement. Remember, the thesis statement is obligatory. If I don't have the thesis statement, it's a 0, a kind of mini outline for the paper. So I have obligatory to have this mini outline for the paper, which means that I have to have the 3 words that you're going to develop into the 3 paragraphs. So each keyword you're going to develop in one of the paragraphs, right? It tells the reader what the essay is about. So I have to know from the introduction what you're going to talk about. I want to know exactly. You're not going to develop in the introduction. No. You're going just to shed light to what you're going to say. Just give the keywords. So 3 paragraphs, I need 3 keywords. When I say words, it's maybe 1 word, maybe 2 or 3 words, it doesn't matter, but you're not going to give details. You're just going to give the keywords, right? And then the last sentence of this paragraph must also contain a transitional hook. So this transitional hook is very important for good writing, for pretty, for great writing, which moves the reader very smoothly from the introduction to the first paragraph of the body of the paper. And then the hook is going to be used again from the first paragraph to the second paragraph as well. So we have to move very smoothly from one paragraph to another, right? So this is clear. We have talked about this. This is just a repetition. And then we go to the body. The body, it's all going to be the same. So the first paragraph of the body should contain the strongest argument. It's preferable that you start with the strongest argument. But anyway, in our essays in this semester, we are not going to talk about arguments. We do not have arguments. We have description, we have narration, we do not have arguments. But anyway, it's the same thing. It's the strongest thing, the strongest impression you may give. If you are describing, you may give the strongest impression, the prettiest things, the things that has touched you most. So the strongest thing anyway, the most significant example, the cleverest illustration, or an obvious beginning point. Sometimes it's obvious to start with one point and then move to the second one. And then, of course, to the third, second and third. So you have 3 paragraphs. The first sentence of this paragraph should include the reverse hook. Aha. What is the reverse hook? So the reverse hook is a sentence that is going to tie in with the transitional hook you have at the end of the first paragraph. Or here, it is the case of the introduction, at the end of the introductory paragraph. The topic for this paragraph should be in the first or second sentences. So the topic sentence should be at the beginning of the paragraph, okay? And this you have seen in the first semester with your teachers. So this topic should relate to the thesis statement in the introductory paragraph. How is it going to relate? So the topic sentence is going to contain the idea from where you have used the key point or the key word in the introduction. Remember, in the introduction, we had 3 key points or key words. So each sentence, each topic sentence is going to relate to one of those key words. This is the relation we are talking about. So this topic should relate to the thesis statement in the introductory paragraph. The last sentence in this paragraph should include a transitional hook. Okay, always we finish by a hook and we start with a reverse hook. This is good, but less important than the topic sentence. I want to see the topic sentence. But the hook is very, very important, very useful, very pretty in writing, and it is a good technique to use all the time. The transitional hook to tie into the second paragraph of the body. And the second paragraph of the body is going to contain what first?
That song earlier, did you make that up? I don't think
Who can tell me?
The topic sentence of the second paragraph.
Right.
It's going to contain the topic sentence of literature. Yes, right.
Something about Tim,
But
but it felt like
it may, of course, if you can, the reverse hook.
The reverse hook, yeah.
If you can, of course, if you can, it would be very good, very pretty to use a hook at the end of one paragraph and the reverse hook. That is, you take what you have in the first, in that sentence in the hook, and you're going to use it to go to the topic sentence, okay? Sometimes you may use it as a topic sentence. So let's look at the second paragraph. So the second paragraph of the body should contain the second strongest argument. So you see, you go from the strongest to the least, till the end, strong argument or impression or whatever. So second most significant example, or second cleverest illustration, or an obvious follow-up of the first paragraph in the body. So the first sentence of this paragraph should include the reverse hook, as we said. Okay, right, we have said it, which ties in with the transitional hook at the end of the first paragraph of the body. You see it? Do you see it? Is it clear? Is it clear for everybody? Okay. If not, you may ask. So the top, yeah.
Is it important to end with a hook at the end of the introductory paragraph?
So the hook you use is at the end of every paragraph.
Okay.
Of every paragraph. It is the way it is the way you can go smoothly from one idea to another. You know, when you talk about something, you have three major ideas, okay? Three major ideas. One idea about the weather, talking about the weather. Another idea, you may be talking about the place. So when you go from the weather and you're here describing the weather, it was very cold, snowy, the wind, breezy, whatever, and you stop and you go, the place was pretty, it's very abrupt. It's not very good to, you should go smoothly, okay? You talk
Yes.
about weather and then you come with a sentence that is going to move you from the weather to the place. And this
Tie.
weather,
Yeah.
yes, it is going to tie. Okay, so you see the misty clouds, we have the impression, and they are going down on the grass. You see, on the grass, and from the grass you're going to start. The grass of the something, and you talk about the grass of the park was of a bright blue. You see the hook?
Yes, it is clear.
It is a link. It is a link. You cannot go abruptly from one idea to another. It's not very pretty. It's not very professional. It's not a good kind or a good way of writing. So you have to use something that is going to move you or to take you smoothly from one idea to another. Right? So the
Yeah.
topic, so like this, the topic should relate to the thesis statement in the introductory paragraph. And the last sentence in this paragraph, this is paragraph 1, should include, again, a transitional hook to tie into the third paragraph of the body. So you always try to use this link. We call it a link. If you want, let's call it a link. Or a hook. You call it what you want. Okay? Or just call it a paste from one paragraph to another. Or a highway, you call it whatever you want, but it is going to, or the related sentence, or the sentence that is going to make the relation between the paragraphs. You call it what you want, but you have to move smoothly from one paragraph to another. Right? If you have any questions, just stop me. So the third paragraph of the body should contain the weakest argument, weakest example, weakest illustration, or an obvious follow-up to the second paragraph in the body. So an obvious follow-up to the second paragraph, for example, you're talking about your childhood. And you start when you were relating, when you were at the primary school. Okay, so this is obvious. You start by primary school, then you move to secondary, then you move to the faculty, for example. This is obvious follow-up. Okay, you're not going to start by the secondary, then move to primary, then go to faculty. No, you cannot do that. There's something that is called logic. So this is obvious follow-up. Okay, so and then the first step. Yeah. So the first sentence of this paragraph should include the reverse hook, the tie, the link, whatever, which ties in with the transitional hook at the end of the second paragraph. The topic for this paragraph should be in the first or second sentence, the topic sentence. It should always be there, obligatory. This topic should relate, again, remember, to the thesis statement in the introductory paragraph. Remember where we have the three keywords. So one of the keywords, you're going to use it in this topic sentence. Now, you may use it again, no problem. You may use the same word, but of course, inside a good sentence, a good structured sentence. And again, the last sentence in this paragraph should include a transitional concluding hook. So it is the concluding sentence. You may call it a concluding sentence, and the concluding sentence most of the times is the hook that signals, that is going to tell us or give us a signal, a slight idea of what you're going to talk about in the next paragraph. So the reader that this is the final major point being made in this paper. The hook also leads into the last or concluding sentence. Paragraph, I mean. Okay? It's always the same thing. It's the same technique. So this is what I want from you in the exam. I want from you the technique. I don't want the story in itself, but I want you to apply the technique of writing, the good technique of writing. Ideas, I do not care about the ideas. Maybe I do care about the language. Use good language, yes. But ideas, I do not care. But I care when a student tries to apply what I said, that is, use a good introductory paragraph with the thesis statement, with the stating the topic, restating the topic in your own words, giving the impression. I have to feel your impression, your position, and then I want to know what the essay is going to talk about. So these, I want to have them as long as I have them in the introduction, it's already a good mark. It may be a passing mark, because sometimes this language is so bad that I can do nothing for it. Okay, and then we go to the concluding paragraph. So in this paragraph, I should find the following: an allusion to the pattern used in the introductory paragraph. That is, you go a little bit back to the introduction. A restatement of the thesis statement. So you're going to say it again, but you're going to make it stronger. Using some of the original language, you may use some, not all. You're not going to use all the sentences you have in the introduction. No, you cannot do that. An introduction is an introduction, and a conclusion is a conclusion. So a restatement of the thesis statement using some of the original language, or a language that echoes. You may paraphrase, for example, the original language. The restatement, however, must not be a duplicate thesis statement. Of course not. A summary of the 3 main points from the body of the paper. So a summary from the paper. Remember, in the introduction, we have the 3 key words. We have the outline, sort of an outline. But here you have a summary of the 3 paragraphs. You take it from the body language that you have used. And then finally, the final statement that gives the reader signals that the discussion has come to an end. This final statement might be a call to action in a persuasive paper. It's not our case, but you may give further suggestions, further ideas, but no more new ideas in the conclusion, never. Okay, so here I have a sample paper. It's long enough, so I'm not going to read it with you. You're going to read it alone. So you have the writing here on your left, and then the explanation on the right. Okay, you do it alone. You're grown-ups now. Okay, and then I will close this one. So you have it, you can download it, you have it here, you can see it, the 5-paragraph essay. And then you have another file here, the guide to writing a basic essay, plus or minus the same thing. It's always the same thing. It's just different kinds of language. So the basic structure in any essay is the same, no matter what, whether it is argumentative, whether it is descriptive or narrative, informative, personal, whatever kind of paper it is, the structure, the basic structure is the same. Even when you write a presentation, even when you write a report, whatever you write, the structure is the same. So you may be writing an essay to argue for a particular point of view, or to explain the steps necessary to complete a task, whatever it is. If you follow a few simple steps, you will find that the essay almost writes itself. You will be responsible only for supplying ideas, which are the important part of the essay anyway. They are important, but it's not the ideas I'm going to judge at the exams. I judge the structure, I judge the techniques, I judge the students, whether he has followed what I have said, and I do not judge the ideas. Everybody has different ideas, Good ideas, I'm happy with them. But bad ideas, I do not judge them, right? So do not bother with ideas. So some of the students would give me perfect ideas and they are happy to give me a lot of ideas, and they think that something that I'm going to like, yes, maybe I'll like it. They may like, but I'm not going to give a mark for that. Okay, I give a mark for the techniques. So, of course, and this is what I want from you in the day of the exam, I want an outline. So the purpose of an outline is to put your ideas about the topic on paper in an organized format. So I know that if I do not give an outline, students do not work with an outline. While you are obliged to use an outline, as I told you last time, even myself, when I write something, I do have an outline. I can never, never, ever write a paper without writing down an outline. It's a mess in my head, so I have to organize things in my head so the things become clear when I start writing. I just start writing very, very, very easily because I have the outline that is done and things are organized and clear. And then in the outline you have different kinds of outline. You have so you have in one of the videos you can have different kinds of outline. So you have the diagram. Begin your diagram with a circle. So this is one kind of a this is the brainstorming method. So begin your diagram with a circle or a horizontal line or whatever shape you prefer in the middle of the paper. That is the, if you want, the topic you're going to write about. That is the center of your topic. That is the central idea. And then inside the shape or on the line, write your topic. And that is the shape. From your center shape or line or whatever it is, the center or line, draw 3 or 4 lines. So in our cases, you're not going to draw 4 lines. No, why? Why? Do you know why we are not going to draw 4 lines? Can someone answer? From the center, we're going to have the topic there. That is our the topic, our subject, the topic we're going to write about. We draw 3 lines, not 4. Why only 3 lines? Can someone answer? No one to answer. Use your mics because I don't see the chats from the from now.
Because we just have 3 main paragraphs.
Okay, hooray, hooray, hooray. Yes. Yes, because you have only 3 paragraphs. So for 3 paragraphs, you have to have 3 main ideas. 3 major ideas, that's all. You can have 4 if you're working alone, but not in the exam. You cannot write 4 paragraphs, 4 body paragraphs, and then the 2 which is going to make 6 paragraphs. So you have to draw only 3 lines. That is, the 3 lines or the 3 circles are going to go or relate to the 3 paragraphs. And then at the end of each of these lines, draw another circle or a horizontal line. And of course, inside, let's go on with number 5. In each shape or in each line, write the main ideas that you have about your topic. Okay, so go and look at the video about the pizza, which is brainstorming, and you will see this diagramming. So you have the pizza, the popularity of the pizza, why it is popular, because it is cheap, because it is easy to eat, because it uses few ingredients. So you're going to watch this and you will understand what we mean by the diagram. And then in each shape or in each line, write the main ideas that you have about your topic. So you have 3 main ideas that are going to relate to the 3 different paragraphs. And then if you are trying to persuade, it is not our case, you want to write your best argument. You will probably need to group these into categories. If you have trouble grouping the steps into categories, try using beginning, middle, and end. This is not our end. If you are trying to inform, write the major categories into which your information can be divided. So in our case, it's not going to be this, but you keep this, you're going to use it, keep the file, keep the handouts, you're going to use it next semester. And then we go on from each of your main ideas. So we have 3 main ideas, or major ideas, main or major, it's the same thing. From each, again, major ideas, you're going again to draw 3 or 4 lines into the page. So I would say only 3, don't bother with 4, only 3. So these are the developing sentences, okay? So the sentences, the ideas you're going to use to develop your topic sentence or your main idea. And then at the end of each of these lines, draw another circle or horizontal, and each shape line write the facts or information that supports that main idea. Okay?
Professor,
Any questions up to now? Yes.
in the outline.
Yeah, go on.
In the outline, we always start with the introduction. So my question is, in our plan, if we didn't mention the attention grabber and the position and the
Thesis statement.
Yeah, this word is difficult. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
difficult. Yeah.
If we
go on.
didn't mention them in our plan, what are we going to mention? Considering the
What is
introduction.
important? What is important in the plan is the 3 major ideas with the developing ideas.
I didn't hear you. Sorry.
What is obligatory to put in a plan is the major ideas. That is the 3 paragraphs. The first paragraph, you write the major idea, and you have to develop it into 3 minor ideas. This is what you have to put in your plan. And then you go to the second idea, and you have to develop it into 3 minor ideas again, and the third paragraph as well. So this is the main core of the plan.
And concerning
In the introduction, the conclusion and the introduction, you can use anything, you can use them, or you don't use them, or you just write introduction or conclusion, it doesn't matter. But in the introduction, if you can write an attention grabber and the thesis statement there, it's good, but it's not a big deal. Okay, what is important is it's the organization of the topic. It is what you're going to talk about. So the introduction is just introducing. You're not talking about anything. The conclusion, you're just concluding. You're not talking about anything. You're talking about the topic in the 3 paragraphs. The 3 paragraphs, or the development or the developing of the topic. So this it should be organized.
So clear. Thank you.
Okay. So when you have finished, you have the basic structure for your essay and ready to continue. Now, you have the draft. Now you have to compose a thesis statement. Obligatory. And this is what I want in the exam. Now that you have decided what information you plan to present in your essay, you are ready to write your thesis statement. You see, we have presented the ideas, not yet the thesis statement. If you want to write it there, you can, but it's not a big deal, as I said. But in the writing, you have to do it. So the thesis statement tells the reader what the essay will be about. That is, you take the subject that you're going to be given in the exam, you paraphrase it, you put it into your writing. So when I read your writing, I can see the topic inside the writing. Okay, you're not going to start developing the topic from the beginning, but you're going to tell the reader, you write as if it's not the exam. You're just giving someone else to read the essay. So you're telling him what you're going to talk about. Well, this is my topic, and this is how I'm going to develop it. Okay, so this is the thesis statement. Now you must look at your outline or diagram and decide what point you will be making. What is your point? What is your point of view? What is your impression? What do the main ideas and supporting ideas that you listed say about your topic? Is it something that you like? You find it good? You find it bad? A lot of people do not like it, but you do like it. Okay? It's after you have decided about the ideas you're going to talk about. Okay, so your thesis statement will have two parts. The first part states the topic. Okay, Kenya's culture, for example. That is just stating the topic. So maybe the topic given in the exam is going to be a very long one, but you're going to restate. It's all about Kenya's culture, or another idea, building a model train set, or about public transportation. So this part is the main part of the topic. And then you have the second part, states the point of the essay. Has a rich and varied history. So here, Kenya's culture has a rich and varied history. Okay, so it gives me, so I know what you think about Kenya's culture. I think that you like this culture, that you appreciate this culture. This culture has a rich and varied history. You see, so I feel your position. I feel your impression. Someone else would say, well, Kenya's culture has a very poor history, it is a very poor country and has very poor history. These are different positions. So yours, I can feel it, I can see it, I know it. Okay, if you go to another one, building a model train set takes time and patience. Oh, I see that. What you think about building a model train, it's very difficult, very difficult. I know that you find it very difficult. If we take the public transportation, you can follow these words, but public transportation can solve some of our city's most persistent and pressing problems. You see how you finish it? You have the topic, which is public transportation, and you have your impression. You think that, instead of saying, I think that public transportation can solve, no, you don't say I think. I understand it without saying it. So public, I know that for you, you think that public transportation can solve some of our city's most persistent and pressing problems. Okay, so you see, it's very easy. The thesis statement is very easy. It's just saying, restating the topic and giving a little bit your impression. That's it. Or in the second part, you can simply list the three main ideas you will discuss.
Professor,
Okay, yes.
What about the length of each body paragraph? Do we have to pass, for example, 8 lines in each body paragraph? Or, I mean, can you please?
No, I cannot, because everything is different. Every subject is, there are some subjects where you have to explain the details. So you need a lot of sentences. And there are some subjects where you do not have a lot to say. So you have just a few sentences to say. But anyway, you cannot go less than let's say, one sentence as a, I'm not going to talk about the reverse hook, but the topic sentence is obligatory. So this is one topic sentence obligatory. And you have to develop the topic sentence into 3 minor ideas. Let's say just one sentence for one minor idea, which is normally not possible. But let's say 3 minor ideas, 3 minor sentences. So these are 4 sentences. It's not enough, but you cannot go below 4 sentences. Already, if you add the reverse hook and you add the hook at the end, you already have 6 sentences. And to explain with sentences normally is never enough. But then it depends on the subject. Only what you have to know is the length of the first paragraph, the second and the third should be equal in length. You're not going to write a very long paragraph in the first one, sort of let's say 10 sentences, 10 lines, not sentences, let's say 10 lines. Then you come to the second paragraph and you write 5 lines, and you come to the last one and you write 3 lines, or no. They should be equal, plus or minus 1 line, 2 lines, 1 sentence, 2 sentences, doesn't matter. But the difference should not be enormous, should not be very big. Okay, but all depends on the subject. You can never say this one, you write every subject, you develop every subject in 10 lines or 10 sentences. You cannot do that. If you, yes, you can do that, but it will not be a good piece of writing. Okay?
Yes, I understand. Thank you.
And then in the second part of the thesis statement, you could simply list the 3 main ideas you will discuss. So about Kenya's culture has a long history, blends traditions from several other cultures, provides a rich heritage. Okay? So for me, if I find this sentence in your paragraph, in your introduction, what am I going? It's the way I correct. So I look, so this is a good one, okay? Good introduction. I have 3 different ideas there. I have long history. I have the idea of blending traditions from different cultures. This is another idea. And then I have a rich heritage. So 3 different ideas, nice. And then I go straight away to the beginning of the 3 paragraphs. And I look at the topic sentence. I have to find a topic sentence talking about the long history that contains this word, long history. And the paragraph should be about long history. If I find it, that's okay. I go to the second paragraph and I see if the paragraph is going to have in the topic sentence something like blends traditions, different cultures, other cultures, several cultures. So I have to have around these words, and the paragraph should be developing only these words. And each minor sentence is going to develop, one minor sentence is going to develop only the traditions, the other one is going to the cultures that came into Kenya, and so each one is going to develop one part of the topic sentence. And then write, if I find it, good, this one is following the techniques. And then go to the one, and I have to find the rich heritage and rich somewhere in the topic sentence. And then the paragraph is going to develop only the idea of rich heritage.
Teacher,
Okay? Yes?
please, can you give me an example of the hook that we should use in paragraphs, and an example of the reverse hook? Sorry.
Yeah, well, let's finish this. I cannot talk about the hook here and the examples. I have to finish with the techniques now, okay? And then I think that in the example I told you to read alone, you will have it. The hook is a transition, okay? So depending on the subject, it's going to be different. To have it, I don't have one in mind now like this, but you have it in the example. And then when we finish, maybe I'll try to find an example. Okay? So let's finish with and then the second idea was about building a model train set. So you can model, you can have requires an investment in time, patience, and materials. Fine. You see, there are only 3 keywords. What do we have here? We have time, investment in time, investment in patience, and investment in materials. Good. I have 3 major ideas. I know what the topic is going to talk about. I know that this topic is going to have 3 body paragraph. The first paragraph is going to talk about time. The second paragraph is going to talk about patience, and the third paragraph about materials. And then we have the conclusion where no more new ideas are going to be found there. Okay, The third one is about public transport. These are very good examples. The third one is about public transportation. It may help with traffic congestion, resource management, and the city budget. So again, I go to my paragraph, and the first paragraph, I know it's going to talk about the traffic congestions, how it may help, how it can find solutions to this. And then the second paragraph is going to talk about resource management. So how how we can manage the resources of the city. And the last paragraph is to talk only financial, the budget of the city. Okay, so these are going to be found in the, and I know it from the introduction. Once you have formulated a thesis statement that fits this pattern and with which you are comfortable, you are ready to continue. So see, the introduction is very important. It gives you the position of the writer. It gives you what the topic, it gives you the topic, it gives you the idea, an idea of what the topic is going to talk about. So it is important, and this is something that you have to do. It is obligatory. And most of the bad marks students get is because they start developing the subject from the beginning with very beautiful ideas. Sometimes even it's good language, but it's not the way of writing. This is a composition course, how to compose. It's not only a language course, it is a composition course. So you have to know how to write, the techniques of writing. Okay. And now that you have finished, yes?
I have two questions, please. In the first one, in each paragraph, we should write 3 ideas. Yes? Or
in
one?
each paragraph?
In each
Yeah, go on.
paragraph, you should write 3 ideas. Or one idea with 3 examples or 3 facts, or no?
Exactly, that's it. It's not 3 ideas. It's one of the major ideas you have used in the introduction. It's one idea, one major idea that you are going to develop, either by explanation, by description, by arguments, by examples, whatever. But it is one idea, and the one idea is the idea you have in the topic sentence. You're going to develop only that. One topic sentence, one idea.
Okay. And second one, please, for this is statements in the introduction. I ask if
Yes.
we should write the same words in the or no or not.
Same words
So
with what? As what?
The same words that we have in the question. We should
In the question of
write
the exam?
Exact.
No, no. You should write the same idea. You rewrite. You paraphrase.
Okay.
You paraphrase
Okay.
it.
Thank you.
You can use, if it's a keyword, you can use some of the keywords, but you're not going to use the same sentence. Okay, you're going to rewrite the sentence, you paraphrase it, and you use your own language to say, to restate the topic you are given in the exam.
I understand. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
So now we have written our introduction. We have our thesis statement, very important. Please do it in the exam. And then now we are ready to write the body paragraphs. Now with the body paragraphs, you have the topic you have chosen must now be explained, described, argued, give examples, whatever. So it depends on your topic. So idea, that is each paragraph, one main idea, one paragraph. Each main idea that you wrote down in your diagram or outline. Remember, in the center we have the topic, and we have drawn 3 lines. Each line represents one of the major ideas you're going to develop in your essay. So each main idea that you wrote down in your diagram or outline will become one of the body paragraphs. See, if you had 3 or 4 main ideas, you will have 3 or 4 body paragraphs. That is, if you have 3 main ideas, obligatory, you're going to have 3 body paragraphs. If you have 4, you're going to have 4 body paragraphs. Once again, in the exam, you're not going to use 4, you're going to use only 3. And then each body paragraph will have the same basic structure. They are the same. You start by writing down one of your main ideas in sentence form. So mostly this is the topic sentence. We have said you may use the reverse hook. Very good to use it. The reverse hook, sometimes you can use it inside the topic sentence. But anyway, the topic sentence is something that is obligatory. So start by writing down one of your main ideas in sentence form, and this is what is called the topic sentence. If your main idea is reduces freeway congestion, we have seen with the public transportation, you might say this: public transportation reduces freeway congestion. Simply, this is a topic sentence. This is a fact, and then you start by explaining how, for example. Next, write down each of your supporting points for that main idea. So remember, we have from each major idea, we have drawn 3 main lines with 3 supporting ideas. So those supporting ideas, you're going to use them here. So next, write down each of your supporting points for that main idea, but leave 4 or 5 lines in between each point. In the space under each point, write down some elaboration for that point. That's why I said, at least if you're going, when someone asked me about how many sentences you have to use in a paragraph, I said, I don't know, but at least the 4, and I said 4 is not sufficient. So because for each main idea, you have to explain again. You need space, you need to explain. So just to put one major idea and put down 3 minor ideas like this, just to throw them down without explaining, it's not sufficient. So in the space under each point, write down some elaboration for that point. So elaboration, what do we mean by elaboration? It can be further description or explanation or discussion or examples. So the supporting point, commuters appreciate the cost savings. For example, this one, commuters appreciate the cost savings of taking public transportation rather than driving. You see here, you're given support. Elaboration, less driving time means less maintenance expense, such as oil changes. Of course, less driving time means saving on gasoline as well. In many cases, these savings amount to more than the cost of riding public transportation. See how you can elaborate the point of public transportation? You have many ideas that you can come up with. If you wish, include a summary sentence for each paragraph, if you wish. So the summary sentence, it can be, if you find a hook, it's a good, if not, it's a summary. But anyway, you have to have a concluding sentence that will move you from here, from the summary to introduce the idea you have in the next paragraph. Okay? Once you have fleshed out each of your body paragraphs, one for each main point, you are ready to continue. Okay, so your essay lacks only 2 paragraphs now, the introduction and the conclusion. So these paragraphs will give the reader a point of entry to and a point of exit from your essay. So do you see now we have started with the body paragraphs? we have started by writing everything about the essay. We have talked about the thesis statement, but just as a draft. But when you are elaborating your essay, you write the bulk of writing of the essay, the body. And then once you finish the body, you go back to the introduction and then the conclusion. Even in monographs and big dissertations, PhDs, we do the same thing. We never write the introduction first. First, we just write about the ideas. We find the ideas and we develop the ideas. And then we see, because sometimes you start with ideas and you think that the thing you're talking about is something that is good, but once you start developing, you see that things go astray. It is not as good as that, so maybe you will have to change your position. So it's once you finish your writing, then you go to the introduction. And then, of course, you finish with a conclusion. So number 4, write the introduction and conclusion. Your essay lacks only 2 paragraphs now, the introduction and the conclusion. These paragraphs will give the reader a point of entry to and a point of exit from your essay. Don't forget that in each paragraph, the first sentence should contain a reverse hook. Remember? Well, it's going to bring you from what you have said at the beginning to what you have said at the end. At the beginning of one paragraph and the end of another paragraph, which ties in with the transitional hook at the end of the previous paragraph, and that the last sentence should include a transitional hook to tie into the next paragraph of the body. And then we go to the introduction. The introduction should be designed to attract the reader's attention and give him an idea of the essay's focus. Okay, remember we have finished the essay if you want, but the essay doesn't have an introduction. Now we go to the introduction. Begin with an attention grabber. Here are some ideas. You may have startling information. So this information must be true and verifiable. You should not give lies. You shouldn't lie about something. Startling information, you should give something that is true all the time. And it doesn't need to be totally new to your readers. It could simply be a pertinent fact that explicitly illustrates the point you wish to make. Follow it with a sentence or 2 for elaboration. You always have some sentences to elaborate. So when I give you here the techniques and I say you major sentence, minor sentence, this is just the skeleton that you have to flesh it. You have to finish it with elaborating sentences. Okay, if you give it just if you use only those key sentences and do not elaborate, it will not give something that is very pretty to read. You can use anecdote. An anecdote is a story that illustrates a point. Be sure your anecdote is short, to the point, and relevant to your topic. So it should be short. You're not going to tell a whole story of a page or a whole paragraph. No, a few, maybe a few sentences, a few lines. It must be very short. It must be to the point. It has to have a relation to the topic and relevant. This can be a very effective opener for your essay, but use it carefully. You can use dialogue. The reader must understand the point you are trying to convey. Use only 2 or 3 exchanges between speakers to make your point. You can imagine a sort of a conversation just to put the reader into the frame. Follow dialogue with a sentence or 2 of elaboration. Or you may use summary information. A few sentences explaining your topic in general terms can lead the reader gently to your thesis. Each sentence should become gradually more specific until you reach your thesis. Now, if the attention grabber was only a sentence or two, add one or two more sentences that will lead the reader from your opening to your thesis. Remember, we have always to move smoothly from one idea to another. We do not move abruptly. When I say attention grabber, use statistics. You're not giving statistics, and then thesis statement, and then hook, and then topic sentence. No, you have to use other sentences between different sentences. Then finish the paragraph with your thesis. Sorry. Finish the paragraph with your thesis statement, a kind of mini outline. Very important, the mini outline here, very, very important for the paper. And the conclusion. All the conclusion needs is three. Yes.
We shouldn't write the plane at the end of the introduction.
This is the mini outline. It's not the whole plan. It's just a mini plan. You just, as we have seen the examples with the Kenya.
Yes.
Kenya culture. Just three ideas that you're going to talk about. These are your outline. These are the ideas that you're going to have in your plan. You're going to use the same words.
Yes.
Okay. That's why I highlighted the mini outline here. It's the mini.
We should write it.
Sorry.
We should write it.
You should give the three keywords. You have to put them. You should use them in the introduction. It's obligatory. It is the way. It is what makes me know what you're going to talk about in your essay. I should know it in the introduction. That is, without reading your essay, I know that you're going to talk about this and that and that, without reading the essay.
For example, teacher, if you can say, you can write in this topic, we talk about successively about, for example, the first one, second one, third one. No.
Repeat.
So we can. I ask if we can write these sentences at the end of introduction. We can write in this topic. We talk about. We talk.
No. Don't do it like that. No, don't do it like that. Good writing never say, I think I'm going to write in this paper, I will talk about. Never do this. You find a way to say it. For example, talking about transportation. Transportation can solve several problems, some of which are this and that and that. You see, you give a sentence.
Yes. Okay.
Do not say I, or in this paper, or in this essay. No, that's bad writing. Never do that. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you.
So the conclusion, all the conclusion needs is 3 or 4 strong. Look at the word here, strong sentences, which is different. In the introduction, you're introducing. It's not strong. You're just giving the feelings, the impressions, introducing things. But now here is strong sentences. Simply review the main points, being careful not to restate them exactly. You are going to restate them, but not exactly. You're going to change the formulation. Or briefly describe your feelings about the topic. You may just give your feelings about the topic. Even an anecdote can, and your essay in a useful way. So it is just to wrap up your essay, okay? But you're not going to use any new ideas in the conclusion. Either summaries, stronger sentences, your feelings, or suggestions to further actions or whatever. Add the finishing touches. You have now completed all of the paragraphs of your essay. Before you can consider this a finished product, however, you must give some thought to the formatting of your paper. Check your writing. Nothing can substitute for revision of your work. Read and reread your work. Yeah, but please pay attention to time. If you do not at the due time, you will miss your papers. And I do not accept papers that go to the faculty. So be careful. I do not accept those papers that travel from one place to another to come to the faculty. It makes a difference between someone who is doing his work in 1 hour and someone who is doing his work in 5 or 6 hours. I do not accept this difference. It's 1 hour and a half for everybody. Now you have, look, if you have problems with the sites, you can send to the mailbox. But then I'm going to check the hour. If you have problems sending in the in Moodle, then you send in the mailbox. I see the hour. If it's outside the hour, I'm not going to correct it. It should be inside the hour. 1 minute, 2 minutes, it doesn't matter, but not 1 hour. So one of your friends are going to finish, for example, at 10 o'clock, and you send your work at 10:30. No. If the time is 10:30 for the students, it's going to be 10:30 for you. It's going to be the same time, 31, 32, okay? 35, 5 minutes, I will maybe accept it, but not more than that. Okay, but do not bring anything to the faculty. I tell you from here, I have never taken something from the faculty. I have never corrected something from the faculty. I'm against, and I will not correct it. Even if they accept it in the faculty, they just keep it. And this is the case of the majority of the teachers. Okay, nothing can substitute for yes, someone was going to talk?
I have a question. During our writing process, can we be more imaginative and lie about certain facts? For example, if we talked about a place that is actually situated in Morocco, and can we lie about it, about its real location, and say that it actually exists in, I don't know, America, for example? Can we lie in our writing?
You can lie, but do not take because you know what happens, and it happened a lot. Students give me writing where they take from the internet something that happened somewhere else. And I know that was cheating. So if you do it, I will maybe think that you were taking something from the net talking about a place in America. I will tell you, last time students have been talking about the COVID in Morocco. And they were saying that people were sending stories and emails, whatever, I don't know, something like to the old people to keep in touch with them. This is not our case in Morocco. Do we send emails to old people? And especially in areas, in poor areas. Do we do this in Morocco? Come on.
No, we don't. Of course,
we have to be stupid. I have to be stupid to accept this and to.
We can lie, but not all.
So even when you,
like unbelievable.
There's a way of I'm not going to, but you can lie about, for example, well, lie and you can just. Well, I do accept. For example, if you say you give me a number that's not true, I'll consider it that it's true. Or I don't know what else you can do. Numbers, beautiful places. For example, you can talk about a garden next to your house, which is very poor, which is very dirty, and you can say beautiful, and you can imagine. Yes,
I understand.
You can do this.
I understand.
Yeah, but just stay in Morocco.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, so check your writing. Nothing can substitute for revision, but be careful with time. Use, when you're working, use the Pomodoro. Do you know the Pomodoro? A clock, an alarm clock.
Yes, it's
That is, if you have to finish at 10:30, then put it on 10:15, for example, just to so you can send your work and be finishing your work. I think it's a good idea. Because if you start without an alarm, you'll be, because once we are working, sometimes we do not pay attention to time. So try to use alarm clocks. So does it make logical sense? Do the sentences flow smoothly from one another? You see, sentences flowing smoothly from one another. This is why we use a hook and reverse hook, and just for this. If not, try to add some words and phrases to help connect them. Transition words, therefore, however, sometimes help, although you might refer in one sentence to a thought in the previous sentence. This is a hook and reverse hook. This is especially useful when you move from one paragraph to another. Congratulations, you have finished your essay. And same example. Okay, the one we have seen in the other paper, I think it's the same one. Okay, so you read it alone. I stop this one and I'll go. Any questions?
Teacher, I have
So
a question.
here yes. Yes.
When we want to write, for example, a descriptive essay describing a friend, shall we mention their names? For example, we did the introductory paragraph, the hook, and all those stuffs, and then the first paragraph when we describe him or her physically, the second one mentally, and then shall I mention the reason why did I describe her, then go to the concluding paragraph?
So the reason, where are you going to talk about the reason why I describe her?
And the third paragraph, the third body paragraph.
Well, depends on how you're going to tackle this. If you're going to do in the first paragraph, you're going to talk about her, you said her what?
And the
Her
first
physics, her body.
Physics, yeah, physically.
Her physics.
Yeah.
And the second, mentally, her personality.
Yeah.
And then in the third, you're going to tell me, well, this is why I want to describe her, because she's so pretty and a strong paragraph. You're repeating yourself.
Yeah.
You're repeating yourself, unless it's something that is new. And then you have to put it in the introductory paragraph.
Okay. And it is like mentioning her name. It's okay to mention her name.
Yeah, so it's between you and her. If she accepts that you mention her name, it's okay.
But pretending in the day of the exam, we are required to describe her.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Generally, when you describe a person, for example, your best friend, generally people would give names.
Okay.
And even if you give a name, for example, you're going to describe, you say, Amina is my best friend because of this and that and that. Well, we don't know who Amina is, this Amina. There are so many Aminas that we know, so we do not exactly know who she is, but we just know the person. We just have a reference in the essay. Okay. We have a reference. We know that you're talking about a girl, her name is this. So here, I think that these are new, just opened. So here you can see there's a video about writing a descriptive paragraph, how to write a descriptive paragraph, because in the exam you're going to have two questions or two topics, one about a descriptive essay and one about narrative essay. And in any way, as I told you, in a narrative essay, most of the time you need to use descriptive language. So here, descriptive paragraph, more descriptive writing. Go and look at these, very important. Don't forget, you have to know how to describe a person, how to describe a place. A place is very important as well as a person, and a thing. So another video. So many writing to describe using the senses. Literary
Professor,
device explanation. Yes.
Sometimes in the narrative essays, we may find some descriptions.
This is what I said. You always, generally, you find description. Okay?
okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Describing people. A video of describing people. He's got small brown eyes. She's got big blue eyes. And well, look at the video. Try to take notes. Here again, describing scenes. Describing scenes is something that you may use in narratives. That's a scene. Okay, and here I have two things. So here, a PPT about describing places. Okay. You can, so here it says you can start by asking questions. Which city or town or village is it? The thing that you're describing. Where is it? So the place. What is there to see and do? What is the city like? It's famous for. Why is it meaningful to you? How are the people? What's the weather like? How is the food? So these are questions to answer if you are, for example, describing a place. Okay, let me. Okay. And then useful expressions that you may use into it offers, whatever it is. The views are splendid. You shouldn't miss the marketplace. The atmosphere is I don't know, very warm. It's located in whatever. It's far away from Rabat. What I don't like about it is the wind. It's very windy. The good thing, sorry, and then you have location by the sea, on the coast, in the country, in the north, south, west, or east of, on the river, and you give the name of the river, in a valley, on a plain, in the mountains, near a forest. So these are the ideas to use so you can describe something. Atmosphere adjectives. Remember, I first told you to collect as many adjectives as you can. So these are some more. It's a peaceful place. It's a quiet place. Not busy, very calm, free from activities. Ancient with a long history. This is the meaning of ancient. Ancient is not ancien. It's not old. Ancient means has a history. So beautiful, very pleasing on the eye, charming, picturesque, nice, very pleasant in a unique way, cosmopolitan, with a varied mix of cultures and languages, like Casablanca, for example, boring, dull, uninteresting place. Depends on what you are describing. Bustling, a crowded, busy place. When you go to marketplaces in Morocco, compact, not very big, within a small area, noisy, unspoiled, stunning. And you go atmosphere, again, lively, fascinating, huge, polluted, touristic or touristy. Generally, we say touristy, not touristics. Touristic, we do not say it a lot. That's French, touristique. We say touristy, visited by lots of tourists, exciting, thrilling, with lots of enjoyable things to do, popular, crowded, contemporary, modern, very up-to-date, expensive hospital, so historic. So activities, you can talk about activities of a place. Okay? Shopping, wandering, meeting people. Downtown, the areas in the town, outskirts, suburbs, industrial, residential area. Okay, so, and then I have a link here. I think it's interesting, so I've put it there. And again, you click on it, and it takes you to the web. I found this place that resembles Morocco a lot. I liked it, and that's why I've chosen it. So you have, again, a list of adjectives that you may be using. Okay? Any questions?
Professor,
Yeah.
sometimes we may do a hook, like a question.
Yes.
And then can we finish our introductory paragraph by a question? Like two main questions in the same paragraph.
Two main questions. You may finish with a question, and the question, the answer of the question is going to be the topic sentence, for example. It's a good idea.
Okay.
You can say transportation might help for congestion, this, and then the budget. But how can it help for the budget, for example? Okay, so it helps a budget in 3 different ways. It can help like this, and you start explaining. For example, this is just a, okay. So examples, I have here examples of descriptive essays. So again, there's a link. It's going to take you to a link. And here, yeah, I'm not going to read with you. You read it alone. There are different types of essays, from descriptives, expository, compare, contrast, persuasive, narrative, and you go on. A descriptive essay is an essay in which you describe a single event or subject using sensory details such as sight, smell, sound, touch, and taste. This is very important. This is very important. Okay, sensory details. This is how we describe. Descriptive writing is often seen in travel writing, poetry, and the short story and novel form, but it is not restricted to them. Okay, so you read alone, it's very long, and then you have examples. They are not full finished examples, but it gives you just an idea. Okay, if we take descriptive writing, descriptive writing in this sense, for many people, description, you have description writing. Okay, to finish. Anyway, if we go back, let us choose amusement parks. By far one of the most thrilling places on earth. Okay, more. Then if you want more, you're going to put your email here. It's going to ask you for email. Show more content. No, not now, I think. Yes, email, and then you're going to receive things. So it's up to you to register or not. Okay, any questions up to now? Okay, so you have everything to read. Again, a hook, topic, sentence, topic, evidence, conclusion, body part. It's always the same repetition. It's always the same thing. Okay. Any questions before we leave? I will try. I don't know if we can meet each other next time still before the exam. Are you given the date of the exam?
Now, no, nobody knows what is the
Nobody
date of
knows.
the exam, but it just said that in the 25.
25.
Yeah.
Hmm. So we can still see each other next time, next Wednesday, to talk a little bit about narrative. And please do the homework I told you.
Professor, I have a question.
Yes.
One last question.
Yes.
Professor, in our descriptive essay, for example, can we talk about more than one thing? For example, I choose to talk about a certain person in the topic. In my three major ideas, the first topic sentence, I talk about this person physically and mentally, and the second body paragraph, I talk about this person as company and like the place. And the third paragraph, I talk about the people, what others say about this person.
Yes,
Is
you do. You do as long as it is logical, and as
yeah, it
long
is.
as you do the mini outline in the introduction.
Yes, it
So
is.
in the introduction, I should know that you're going to talk about this in the first paragraph. I should know that you're going to talk about this second idea in the second paragraph. And I should know that you're going to talk about this idea in the third paragraph. So I should know from the introduction. I should not read until I arrive to the third. And each time I don't know what you're going to say. No, I have to know from the introduction what you're going to talk about. As long as you do this, it's okay.
Clear. Thanks, Professor.
Welcome, welcome. Any other questions? Please, again, I will never stop repeating this. Please, if you do not know how to write a sentence, go and find out what do we mean by a sentence? What is a sentence? Grammatically, what is a sentence? So still now, I'm still receiving the work you send me. A big number of works of the students do not know how to write a sentence. That is, they write a paragraph containing one sentence. They start with a capital letter of the topic sentence, if there is a topic sentence. They start with a capital letter, and if there is a capital letter, and they write and write and write and write and write and write and write words, 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 until the end of the paragraph. Sometimes I do find a period there, if I'm lucky enough, and sometimes not. So what happens is that all paragraph contains one sentence. What is this one sentence? Is it the topic sentence? Is it a minor sentence? Is it a developing sentence? Where is the subject? Where's the verb? Who is the doer of the action? Where is the action? I have to read and reread again and reread again to understand the meaning. This is not composition. In composition, we are teaching you that your writing should be clear. I should read once and I understand. I should not start making out what does he mean. No. In this case, it's not good writing. I shouldn't try to make up or make out what you mean. I should understand from the beginning. And to understand from the beginning, you have to have single sentences. That is, there should be, when you go to a second idea, you should signal it by a period, by a stop. I know by a stop that you're starting a new sentence. If you do not put a stop For me, you're just continuing the same sentence and then I'm lost. I have to reread again to get your point. So this is not good writing. And if, of course, you lose marks because all the paragraph is grammatically wrong. And as there is a mark for language, then there's no mark for language. There's no grammar, no language. Everything is gone. So be careful with your punctuation, how you write sentences. And I've put somewhere at the beginning how to use the linking words and sentences and how to put sentences together. So please do revise your grammar, revise your sentences, your punctuation. Punctuation is something that is very important. Please do revise the punctuation. Okay, the format. Respect the format. When I say 5 paragraphs, I should see the paragraphs straight away from the beginning. That is, you start by indentation. You do not start at the beginning of the line. Go 2-3 centimeters inside the line, the first line only, and then you start. The second line is going to be at the beginning of the line. Then you jump a line between one paragraph and another, making the paragraphs very distinct one from another. Okay? And the beginning of the paragraph that is going to be, for example, 2 centimeters inside, each paragraph is going to start at the same level. That is exactly 2 centimeters inside. You cannot start one time 1 centimeter, another time 2 centimeters, and then the third time you start 3 centimeters, go to 1 centimeter. So you have the centimeters, or the amount of centimeters you use is going to be the same one in all the paragraphs you're going to use. So choose the first line and you follow the same pattern. And between one paragraph and another, please jump a line, make it distinct so I can see it straight away. Okay? This is one thing. And the other thing I'd like to tell you is your handwriting. Do please, 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 please pay attention to your handwriting. A lot of times, maybe I can tell you up to 80% of the times I cannot read your writing. It's just a mess. I cannot make it, and you lose marks like this. If you can use a program, a writing program like Word, I would prefer that in the exam. Makes things clear. I can read your work. And it's handwriting. And then with the photos you take, it's very hard work for me. Okay? So this is, for example, I like things to be clear. Okay? Any more questions before we leave? No more questions? So we see each other same time next week.